Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Virgo July 2022 Illumination reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance. So what does that mean? That means that today in this reading, we're going to be taking a look at a challenge that Spirit is asking you to face and overcome in the month of July that is going to help you engage with your unique spirit, that part of ourselves that rises up to the occasion when we face challenges. And this is all in a better effort for you to unlock and experience your own heroic capabilities so that you can better understand your path, your purpose, and where you fit in the greater collective experience. So, hi, all my Virgos out there and cross watchers. Welcome. Thank you to everyone who is returning. Your continued support is greatly appreciated. And to all of those who are new, I hope you really get something powerful out of this reading. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pull the first few cards here to kind of lay the groundwork for the reading, and then we'll pull additional cards to get deeper into the challenge and the blocks that you're facing this month. So Virgo, let's see. What are you bringing to the month of July? That's actually quite a few cards there. Let's see if we can get a few less. I like to try to keep it to 3 cards or less just for a clarity of a message. Oh my gosh, I swear this appeared almost like magic. So Virgo, you might actually be experiencing kind of a magical month of July for yourself. The Queen of Wands as an internal energy, this is really the energy you're bringing to the month of July, is one of understanding your own personal power to manifest what you want, where you want. And with the Ace of Cups coming in here, that's connection to love, a connection to a reconnection to, I like to look at it, and I've been experiencing this card more in the past few weeks in this energy, which is re-experiencing the connection of love for yourself. This is that understanding that when we love ourselves unconditionally, we can then turn that love outward, and we understand what's in our cup, that our cup is always overfloweth with love, that it's never depleted, and that this is what we then can go out and pour into creating our 10 of Cups, which came up here at the bottom of the deck, which is so perfect because that's often an example I give. So with the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Wands is an energy that I like to say is almost like the witch in the tarot. It's that really deep understanding that when we take action from a place of what we're passionate about, it becomes almost like magic in our ability to manifest what we want for ourselves in our physical experience. Meaning that in this card, she's actually depicted holding a sunflower in the middle of the desert to represent that quality of she can grow anything that she wants, even in a barren desert. So keep that in mind this month as you're kind of moving through it, that you have this ability to connect through the energy of love for yourself and love for others to your own ability to manifest what you want in your experience. Now, in your external environment, we have the 9 of Pentacles. The 9 of Pentacles is a very positive energy to have around you. This is one of usually somewhat of a financial independent state. It's physical comfort. It's when we have a lot to be grateful for in our physical environment. It's also where we get the chance to enjoy the fruits of our labor and again, be grateful for that. But there's also a component here of being in a comfort zone because there's still one additional pentacle to go to get towards a almost leveling up legacy type experience in your physical experience. And in order to do that, you kind of have to leave this walled garden of an independent, comfortable state to go out in search of that 10th pentacle. It's that kind of pushing to go a little bit further to get a lot more for yourself. And why you're kind of facing, I think, the realization of this comfort zone, but also the realization of the gratitude for what you have, is because you're being asked now to break free, with the devil coming up here. Break free from heartache and the wounds of the past, things that constantly kind of stab you in your mental space, to pour from the cup of who you are, of what emotionally fulfills you, of what you love about yourself, of the uniqueness of who you are, to start manifesting your 10 of Cups for yourself. What does that mean? That means that the 10 of Cups is achieving your ultimate heart's fulfillment. There's an element here of the 10 of Cups is when we have so much to be grateful for on an emotional level that we actually have the ability to then share that with others. It's like winning the lottery of life on an emotional level and then wanting to share that abundance with others. It's also what I like to refer to as being able to touch a little bit of what your idea of heaven on earth would feel like. And that's a really important thing to keep in mind as you're going through the month of July, keeping that vision in mind for yourself of what would it feel like if I could live in my perfect life, if I could come home to my perfect partner, if I could tap into a job that I felt centered around this feeling that I want for myself. What would I want to experience? And this is a very liberating month. When we have the Three of Swords and the Devil. The Devil is where we realize what we've been holding ourselves back by. It's not that something external to us is holding us back. It's that we have chained ourselves to something. And with the Three of Swords coming up here, this is where you've chained yourself to heartache, to the wounds of the past. This doesn't have to necessarily be in love. This could be other wounds that come from past endeavors where you failed. Just comments even from people who told you that you needed to try harder or you weren't good in a specific area. And so then we hold ourselves back from continuing to push forward. And this is where this month you have this beautiful chance to really realize just how independent you truly are and how to utilize everything that you have to be grateful for to really help bolster what you now want to manifest. And I do like that you're coming in with the Ace of Cups here, this fresh connection to the energy of love. And you have the Nine of Pentacles out here because we can kind of look at this as this is, water energy in the tarot and this is earth energy. And generally you want to water earth to grow that abundance, to help whatever you've planted to continue to thrive. And there is that feeling of being able to, through tapping into what you love about yourself and just that energy of love in general and understanding truly what is in your cup. What are those needs, those dreams, those wants that you so want to have fulfilled? You get to bring that out and water what you already have through the energy of love. And that's what's going to, I think, almost help you catapult you into the 10 of Pentacles and into the realization of your 10 of Cups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead here now and pull additional cards to take a look at the challenge that you're facing or the blocks that you're facing in really being able to bring this beautiful manifestation and energy of love into the abundance you currently have to really help elevate your experience, to manifest for yourself that ultimate heart's fulfillment, that emotional fulfillment of getting to touch a little bit of heaven on earth. So let's see, what does Virgo need to know about where is their block? What is the main challenge they're facing this month? And being able to step fully into that manifestation power. Okay, we have the Six of Wands. And that's in your main challenge position, which is interesting because the Six of Wands is a card that generally, it's a very positive energy card. It's one of being recognized by others for the work that you do. It's also that element of being proud of what you've done and having others recognize that. Okay, followed by the Nine of Wands. All right, so for some of you, there's a little element of a burnout around wanting to be seen, wanting to be recognized, wanting to be praised for what you've done. And you're kind of at this point of, do I keep going? This is exhausting. I'm tired of kind of, look, we have a Queen of Wands that comes up again in the heart of your reading. So definitely the Queen of Wands is really what you're meant to harness this month. But the Nine of Wands is a card of that burnout. It's a card of the weary, wounded warrior he's exhausted. He's gone to battle multiple times. He knows what he's capable of, and he has the wands to prove the battles. It's almost like having his battle scars displayed for others to see. But there's an element here of wanting to have the Six of Wands, wanting to have this recognition, wanting to be seen for all of the work that you've put into things. And then feeling this element of, but I don't want to put I can't take that final step because I'm just exhausted. And what Spirit is asking you to really embrace to get you out of this kind of stagnation of, I want to be seen, but I just can't do it anymore, is to embrace the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands doesn't fall into this trap. She doesn't fall into the trap of, I want to be seen for doing something. I want recognition for the effort I take from taking action from the place of passion. She doesn't get burned out because she stepped into a place of understanding, I hold my wand. I don't have to sit here and every time I get into a battle with somebody else, take their wand and stick it behind me as a means of showing, well, this is all that I've gone through. This is almost like being in that victim mentality of like, look at all I've had to go through, and constantly like bringing that up in people, in interactions with people, like, yeah, but look at everything I've had to go through. Like, this is crazy. That's not her. She's going to sit there and she's going to, she wants to be seen. I mean, look at this powerful individual. But she is just going to be seen. There is a understanding that when she works her magic, that it will draw people to her in that way of coming across a sunflower growing up in the middle of the desert, where people might sit there and say, well, where the heck did this come from? Who made this? There's that quality coming through here of that understanding of when you just work from that place of your one wand, of the uniqueness, the passion that lies within you. The rest of it doesn't matter. The rest of the striving to be seen, the wanting recognition for how much you've had to go through, that all goes by the wayside, because people are just going to see you in the power that you have. And on the other side of this, you get to face the Emperor. This is you. And I think for some of you, with the Devil coming up here, I think the Emperor in your life has taken the form of wounds of the past, that you've allowed that to become the Emperor in your life. And at this point, as the Queen of Wands, you get to face the Emperor and become the Emperor. And that's the main lesson you're learning here in your own life, is that you have the control at all times as to how you experience your life, what you choose to take action in, and how you choose to rule your kingdom. The Emperor is someone who has the experience to understand how to rule wisely, and also how to be able to take in the opinions of others, but be able to put up those boundaries to say, thank you for, your words of wisdom. However, this is what I want to build in my empire, and I'm going to move forward and do that. So there is this element of almost like having to go through that one final battle with yourself. And it's an interesting concept when you think about it like that. As a lot of times we project this outward, that when we kind of have this going on in our lives, we will place this on, well, I just can't have that one final confrontation with my boss about getting recognition, getting that raise that I need, or I can't have that one final confrontation with my romantic partner because I want them to see how much I do every day. Whatever it is, you name it, however we can project this outward and put it on somebody else, when in reality, it comes back to you. You don't need you should not be working in a place where you have to continually ask your boss to provide you with praise, and especially if praise is what you want, or to provide you with a raise that you feel is compensation for being able to see all the work you've done. If that is something that you have to do continually and you feel like it's just the constant having to put yourself out there and show all that you do, and you're not being recognized openly without you having to do that, well, that's the emperor in your life, is you holding yourself to needing that outside external validation, instead of just understanding you're the, even though this is not the magician card in the tarot, this is the element of understanding you bring your own magic. You are the witch in this equation. You hold your book of spells. You have the ability to cast and grow what you want. And a witch isn't going to sit there and be told that she has to do X, Y, and Z, or she's not waiting for the applause from the audience when she casts a spell for herself. She's doing it from a place of just bringing forward her own manifestation qualities. So there's also the element, too, of like if this is a romantic partnership, that if someone in your life is not reciprocating the work that you put in, or you don't feel like they're coming and saying, oh my gosh, I appreciate all that you do, thank you so much, and you have to almost feel like you have to pull it from them, and that you end up taking action from a place only in a way to elicit a response from them, well, that's also being held back by your own need for external validation. And there might be this point where you need to realize maybe this isn't the right person for me to be with if they don't provide me with basically fulfilling what I need in my cup, which is, this is your cup of your emotional needs. That if you need someone to give you that pat on the back to say, sweetheart, oh my gosh, thank you so much for cooking dinner, or it was wonderful that you hung all those shelves, or whatever it is, then that's something, if that person in your life is not capable of doing that, then this is where you need to realize you've held yourself back. The emperor in the room is your need for your person that you're with to change how they communicate. And unfortunately, it's not always as easy as just saying, hey, I need you to recognize what I do. Because if that's not in that person to see the importance of what you do, that might not be the relationship for you. Or conversely, you're just so focused on that external validation that you are waiting for that person to say how great of a job you do. And what you're not realizing is that just in how they act towards you and the other things that they do for the other half of the experience. So let's say you are the stay-at-home parent and you are cooking and cleaning and taking care of the children and doing all these little, things throughout the day. But you're waiting for your significant other to come home from work and say, oh my gosh, thank you so much for vacuuming, and thank you so much for taking care of the children, and the meal is wonderful. And they don't do that. Maybe instead what they're doing is they're going to work every day for an extended period of time with the understanding that they're stressed in their job, they may be working long hours, and when they come home, they're exhausted, and they may look at what you get a chance to do, which is spend time with the family and X, Y, and Z. And they may look at you and say, oh my gosh, this, like, I wish they would recognize me for what I'm doing. And so there's this element of sometimes we have to realize that maybe what we're holding ourselves accountable to is this person giving us this kudos for what we do. And it's not actually that we need their kudos, because they're pulling the other half of the weight of our experience. But what it comes down to is that maybe you're not even enjoying what you do. It's almost like having to find the alternative motivation for what you want to do in your life. And if that requires something outside of yourself to validate what the actions you're taking in your day-to-day life, that can show that you're not actually happy in what you're doing, because you're not doing it from a place of what actually just instinctually motivates you, which is I'm acting on my passions and I feel like I'm in my power. Instead, you're going through the motions of doing things that you feel are almost perfunctory or that are required of you. And we end up really seeking external validation when we're just going through the motions. When we're saying, okay, we're filling our duty, here we go, here I'm doing it, how come no one's recognizing that I'm doing my job, that kind of thing. So it's almost like breaking free from that. You have that opportunity to break free from that kind of cycle. And I hope this is making sense to some of you out there. It's breaking free from that cycle and realizing if you just do what you want to do, and you start to focus on manifesting from what really lights your fire inside, not only will you get the recognition for it because people are going to be kind of shocked and awed by this magical quality that comes through you, but you are breaking free of the need for another to tell you what is your magic or not, or where you should take action or how you should take action. You're breaking free of whatever you change yourself to because of the wounds of the stories of this is what, kind of undermines our confidence in our own magic. And then you have the world. And the world is your final point of challenge. And this is the wrap up, the end of a major cycle. This is where it's like hard stop. And this is where we get a chance to review all the lessons we've learned in this major cycle for ourselves. And we get prepared for the world to turn over once again. And we get to take forward all the lessons learned. And we get ready for the fresh beginning. This is actually a very powerful combination here, the Emperor and the World. There's this element of facing, it's like almost like coming to the final, battle of a video game or a computer game. And you get a chance to face the main, bad guy, and you end the game. But you end the game on a winning streak. And for some of you, this is going to be difficult. It's going to be meaning that you have to give up something. You have to release a cycle that you've been in up until this point. But the beauty of this is that if you can have the courage to do that, have the ability to kind of release this almost codependent relationship with the Emperor in your life, that then you have this lovely ability to kind of move right into the next cycle, which will bring in your 10 of Cups, which will be filled with love and filled with your own personal magic. You won't be held back from actually being able to go out there and work your magic because nothing is holding you back anymore on an internal level. You're free to work your magic. Powerful month for you guys if you can bring the responsibility of what you experience in your life back to yourself, back to the realization of, oh my gosh, I love who I am. What I want to manifest for myself is possible, and I'm going to make it happen. No more of this kind of wounded warrior victim mentality. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to make it happen. And I'm going to do it because I love to do it. And therein, when you notice when people do what they love to do, that's when often people will kind of break into that weird, almost like it seems like they got famous overnight, and it was just because they finally hit on that one thing that they love. And people take notice. When people step up into that place of working from a place of their own passion, that is the flame that almost ignites our being, that then attracts others to pick their head up and say, oh my gosh, that is the girl walking on fire, or whatever, the girl who's on fire. I'm thinking of the one song, but it's like that. It's like suddenly there you are. Okay, so now I'm going to pull 3 additional cards here for additional advice from Spirit to kind of give you something to think about, to help you through this month of breaking free from your own internal Emperor, closing out this major cycle, and moving forward with this fresh connection to love and the love of your own internal magic, your own internal ability to be able to manifest for yourself what you want. And to really make use of the 9 of Pentacles that you have, this level of independence. Okay, so we have 3 cards that came out, and I'll just read all of them. So we have, this is for curiosity. So this is where Spirit is asking you to be curious and open to for the month, to really kind of help you see something that perhaps you might not have otherwise seen. So these 2 cards came up together, and then this card can't face up by itself. So the 4th chakra, Archangel Raphael, number 38, breaking down to master number 11. Fourth chakra is your heart chakra. It's the energy of love. And then we have strategy and anxiety. Number 21 breaking down to a 3 and number 18 breaking down to number 9. So with number 9 is the ending of a cycle as well. It's also the learning, reviewing all the lessons you've learned, getting ready for the next cycle to begin. The number 3 is a number of divinity. It's a number of greeting life with the optimism and innocence of a child. It's also the energy of being seen. A lot of actors and performers have a life path number 3. Now together, what I'm seeing here is to be curious, I think, where perhaps some of you have, with strategy and anxiety, this can come up with be a very clear message. Where are you anxious around perhaps feeling that you don't have a strategy? That's really what's coming strongly through here, which is interesting. It's almost like you're being asked to walk through this portal of love with the Ace of Cups coming through and being asked to really lean into your heart chakra. It's almost like you're overthinking it, Virgo. And I know, Virgo, you are a card. Your motto for your astrology sign is I analyze. And I feel like this can kind of sum you up a little bit here, is that it's almost like you're overthinking the energy of love. You're overthinking what you want for yourself. You're overthinking this whole experience. And it's almost like, where can you be curious about letting go of this? Of feeling like you need a plan, of feeling like you're trying to constantly on a mental level see your way around the Emperor. And where can you instead lean into the energy of love, of vulnerability, of opening yourself up to the 10 of Cups that you desperately want for yourself? And where can you bring that to the table in the battling of your own Emperor? Meaning, sometimes what we don't realize is that love is the strongest weapon. It is the strongest way to break the chains of anything that holds us back. It's, I like to go back to the story of Jesus only because, regardless of what you believe religiously, it's just an interesting story to think of how an individual who took action from a place of passion, their own personal passion, and didn't force others to, act through violence. Instead, he came with the energy of love. And even though, yes, he had to give up his life for what he was passionate about, that energy of pervasive love actually helped to bring the fall of the Roman Empire. And it also helped to elicit a following of people who, yes, maybe this religion then turned into, what it got maybe muddled through falling into the wrong human hands who tried, again, to wield it with power, which is what can happen with anything. But the story, the love for others and fellow man, and to, again, kind of practice what you preach. Don't bring fire to a firefight, if that makes sense. Instead, you bring love, and somehow love is what extinguishes the anger and the hurt and the fire. And that's really what, forgiveness is as well. There's this element of bringing forward love to battle the Emperor. And I think for some of you, it's that love of yourself to finally get to that place of just accepting who you are, accepting we all have our faults, and to not hold ourselves to that place where we have to pick ourselves apart or hold ourselves to unrealistic expectations. And we don't have to overthink it. It's just simply, this is not a battle that has to be strategically won. It's just that internal realization of, I'm amazing. I deserve to be loved. I deserve to be honored for what I'm passionate about. And that's enough. And that love I can have for myself, I can then pour outward into my 10 of Cups. I can start to pour this into the ground to grow what I want on a more authentic level for myself. So be curious about where you're blocking your heart chakra, where you're not allowing yourself really to bring the energy of love out there because you're so, I think, almost like a wounded animal being tied to something that you're kind of in this defensive place. And where you can let go of just having to, this is a lot of overthinking right here. So be curious about where, just by leaning into the energy of love this month, you can free yourself. Okay, so now I'm going to pull a final card here. I'm not sorry, second card for the concept of courage. And this is what Spirit would like you to keep in mind as you garner the courage to take action on your own behalf. And this month is really to lean into facing your own emperor and freeing yourself to experience your 10 of Cups. All right, so let's see here. What does Virgo need to know? We have surrender to non-action. Beautiful, because this kind of does go into just, you don't need to put a plan in place, and you don't need to get ready for the battle. You just need to step up into your own magic. And I love that it shows an individual here with a unicorn horn. It's almost like allowing others to see your beauty, to see your magic, and just be brought. Everybody wants to see a unicorn. It says, now is the time to be still and not act. Simply breathe and focus on your own power. Let others come to you. And that's really what this is. This is focusing on your own power. Getting yourself, if you think about being a witch, let's say in a fantasy novel, it's about getting to that place where you're practicing your spells again. You're getting to this point where you're getting ready to be able to just wave your wand and manifest for yourself what you want. But it's not about, again, going out to show off, to say, look what I can do. It's about really harnessing that focus on beating your internal emperor so you're free then to walk out of wherever you've been chained to just start manifesting. And others, again, are going to take notice and say, oh my gosh, we've had a unicorn chained up this whole time. This is incredible. Let's come on in. So I think this month, it's just really about sitting with the energy of love and really loving yourself almost to the point and loving others as well. It's almost like through the lens of love, seeing your whole experience in a different way and allowing your magic to start to come almost not back to you, but start to become tangible to you, that you can almost feel the tingling in your fingertips of what you can create for yourself. Okay, now I'm going to pull a final card here for the concept of contemplation, and this is where Spirit would like you to basically keep this point in mind as a point of reflection throughout the month to keep you centered, to keep you really in awareness of this whole message here. And it says, Imrama, where are you being called to journey to? I love this. So as you're sitting here, feeling your own magic, getting ready to manifest for yourself what you want, where are you being called to journey to? What is this newfound connection to your 10 of Cups, to heaven on earth? What would that heaven on earth feel like? Where does that exist in your experience? Is that moving to a new location? Is that expanding your family's experience? This could be like looking forward to the future and saying, oh my gosh, I want to have that vacation home and I want to have those experiences with friends and family. Or this could look like, I really want to do this kind of work for a living, and I'm going to start to bring that into my life because I'm feeling called towards it. There's an element of feeling called here, but it's a calling from what you uniquely, it's almost like your magic is going to fit perfectly with where you're being called to go to. It's like you're finally going to, after this month, realize where the other unicorns are, and you're going to realize that's where I need to be. But you have to realize you're a unicorn first. Beautiful message, Virgo. I know this might have kind of been all over the place a little bit, but it's a powerful message. It's a message of it's time to step up into your power because you have this beautiful portal of love to tap into one of the strongest, most influential, and lasting energies in our experience. And you have the ability to tap into that and really almost like July is the portal into your heaven. Actually, I'm curious to see what's underneath here. Oh, 6 of Cups. I love that. 6 of Cups is going back to the past. And there has been this energy, Virgo, a little bit of this like going back to the future energy of like something that you had wanted, you're getting a second chance at. Could even be a past life element coming through, but either way, it's a very positive message. So for those of you who would like to go deeper into this message, there is an extended. I'll be pulling clarifiers for the majority of the cards on here, also taking an in-depth look at romantic love for the month of July, and then a final card for an overarching lesson you're learning this month. But we will dive very much into the Queen of Wands and the Emperor and spend a lot of time there. So if you'd like to join me over there, you can click on the Vimeo link in the description box below. Otherwise, if you'd like to book a personal reading or just learn more about me and the services that I offer, you can click on the link to visit my website in the description box below as well. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you all again in August, and I hope that you all have a very magical and loving month of July. Bye, Virgo.